Hey everybody, today we're going to show you how to find all 80 Korok seeds here in the Hyrule Ridge in Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Our first seed is going to be found over in the Drennan Highlands. You guys can see on the northern side of the map here. We're going to work our way to this little cliff and you're going to find a circle of rocks. The rock that's missing is just over the top. So you look over the ledge here, you'll see it. Go ahead and pick that thing up, drop it in the circle. And once you line it up correctly, we'll get seed number 1. Numbers 2 and 3 are also going to be found in the Drennan Highlands, right along the main path at this location. And once you make it over here, you'll find our little Korok buddy hanging out on a rock. And once you interact with him, you'll see that we need to take him up the main path here right beside us. Now, the one thing about this is I would probably recommend doing this on foot and not actually making a plane. If you do take a plane, you want to put 2 rockets on, because you'll run into the issue that I did where you're not going to be able to get enough height and you end up just crashing into the path. And I even tried to do it again where I just kind of took off again and ended up crashing once again. So going on foot is probably the easiest way to go. However, if you are going to take a plane, make sure you put 2 rockets on, one facing upwards so you get some more height. But once you get them there, you'll get your next 2 seeds. Number 4 is going to be found just west of the Typhlo ruins, right over here in this location. You're going to find 2 statues, one that's broken, one that isn't. You want to climb the one that isn't broken, and you're going to find a piece of wood that you can walk on. That's going to spawn a target right here across from us. Land on this target without touching the ground, and if you do so correctly, you'll get seed number 4. Number 5 is going to be located west of the Korok Forest on top of Mount Drana. You'll see that we're on the peak here, and you're going to find a cork up here. If you look over here to the side, there's going to be a rocket next to this rock. We can grab that and attach it to the cork, and once it's attached, just hit it, let this thing take off, and it'll remove the cork, making the Korok pop up and giving us seed number 5. Number 6 is going to be found on the far northeastern side of the Forgotten Temple. We're going to start from the top of the mountain here, and then we're just going to drop down right over top of the Forgotten Temple, and you'll find down here we're going to have a puzzle. We're going to pick up this piece and start rotating this thing around. So rotate this thing a couple times until it looks just like this. And once you have it like this, you can then fit this in from the right side, sneak it in there. And once it connects, the Korok will pop up and you'll get seed number 6. Number 7 is going to be within the Forgotten Temple. You can actually take the fast travel to the shrine that's in here. And once you make it inside, behind the shrine over here is going to be a tree that's hanging from the side of the wall. We want to work our way up to that tree. Now you can climb the wall or you can just use a rocket. But once you get up here, fly to the middle, and on top of this tree is going to be a small rock that we can pick up. And once you pick that thing up, you'll get seed number 7. Number 8 is also going to be found within the Forgotten Temple. Once again, you can take the shrine to get here quicker. But once you're in the main room, you can look in the back over here. Is going to be a crack in the floor that you can jump down in. If you go right down here in this little corridor, there's going to be a small rock in the back that you can pick up. Pick that thing up and you'll get seed number 8. Number 9 is going to be found right outside of the Forgotten Temple. In the front, you're going to have 4 pillars and you can actually see them all on your map here. We want to go to the one that's the tallest. So we're going to start from the side of the mountain and jump across. And once you make it up here, you'll find a little orange pinwheel that's going to spawn 5 balloons. They're all going to travel in the same direction around the pillar. So the easiest way to do this is just to kind of aim in one direction and wait for all 5 of them to kind of maneuver in the area that you're looking. But once you hit all 5 of those balloons, the Korok will pop up and you'll get seed number 9. Numbers 10 and 11 are going to be found together on the far southern side of Mount Drana. We're going to be on the far southern peak. And once you make it down here, you're going to find our little Korok buddy hanging out. We're going to interact with him and you'll see that we need to take him all the way to the bottom of the mountain. Now, this is one that you can actually go by foot. The terrain's pretty simple. You just pick him up and carry him down the mountain. However, there are a couple enemies that are closer toward the campsite. So I'm going to take an airplane just to save a little bit of time and not have to fight those guys right here beside us. But once you get down here, drop them off, interact, and you'll get your next 2 seeds. Number 12 is going to be found over in the Outdoor Foothills. It's actually right in front of the entrance to the cave. And once you come down here, you're going to find 3 little statues that have 3 plates. All we need to do is put mighty bananas in each one of these plates. So we can go ahead and get those out, drop them in all 3 plates. And once you have all 3 bananas in all 3 plates, the little poof will happen, the Korok will pop up, and you'll get seed number 12. Number 13 is going to be found on top of Elma Knolls. And on the right side, you guys are going to see there's a little circle of about 7 or 8 trees. When you get over here, what you want to do is cut down one of the taller trees, and you want to pay attention because some of these are shorter and it won't work with a short one. But if you cut down one of the taller trees here and then you line this up on another tree, We're going to try to get this just right, and then you drop it. You'll actually be able to walk up this log, and you'll see we have a little cluster of leaves in the middle. You'll be able to interact with those and get seed number 13. Number 14 is located just southwest of the Korok forest. We're going to be right here on this little edge that sticks out into the water. And once you make it down here, you'll find the rock that you can climb up on here. And we're just going to dive into the circle of lily pads that are in the water here. And once you do, you'll get seed number 14. Number 15 is located on top of Solori Hill. And if you zoom all the way in, you'll see we have two really small ponds here. If you go to the one that's further north, you're going to see these rocks that are right here on the edge. All we need to do is climb up to the top of these rocks, interact with the cluster of leaves that spawn, and we'll get seed number 15. Number 16 and 17 are going to be found together on the very top of Solari Hill. You guys can see we're pretty much at the peak here. And once you make it up top, you'll find our little Korok buddy on top of the rock who we can interact with, and you'll see that we need to take him all the way over toward the castle. Now, this is a really, really long distance, so I highly recommend taking an airplane or a car for this one. If you go by foot, it's going to take you an hour to get there, as this is a really long flight. And I had to speed up the video 450 times just to make it a little bit quicker. But it is a really long flight. But once you get them over here, just drop them off, interact, and you'll get your next two seeds. Number 18 is located over in the Urch Plain. You guys can see on your map just south of this pond, we're going to have one single tree. And if we go up to this tree, we'll have two statues with two plates in front of it. Now, one of the plates already has an apple, so all we need to do is drop an apple in the plate next to it. And if you miss, like I do a couple times here, you can see you can use Ultra Hand to pick up the apple and drop it into the plate. But once you have it in the plate, the Korok will pop up and you'll get seed number 18. Number 19 is also going to be found in the Urch Plain. This is going to be down closer by the water. And you guys, again, can see on your map, we have one single tree down here. This time we don't have any plates. We just need to run around the back side of the tree. You'll see a hole. We're going to shoot the acorn that's in that hole. And once you do, you'll get seed number 19. Number 20 is down in the North Hyrule Plain, and we're going to be on the ledge that's just off the side of the mountain like you're going towards the water. And once you make it down here, you'll find that we have this ledge with a piece of wood on top. Walk over that, and then we just need to fly over here to this target. This one's pretty far away, so take your time on this because, again, if you don't land on the target without touching the ground, then it's going to reset. So make sure that you land on it the first time so you don't have to go back up. But once you do, you'll get seed number 20. Number 21 is also in the North Hyrule Plain. You essentially want to work your way to this exact location or get as close as you can. And once you make it out here, you'll find a small rock right out here in the middle of this design in the field. And once you pick up the small rock, you'll get seed number 21. Number 22 is found on the southeastern side of the North Hyrule Plain, down by the cave entrance and the water. And once you get down here, you'll find a giant boulder in a hole down here. Pick that up and turn around, and right here on the side of the rocks is going to be our stand. We can drop the boulder in the stand, the Korok will appear, and we'll get seed number 22. Number 23 is found over by the Breach of Demise, and on our map here you can see we have two giant rocks that kind of go over top one another. Underneath the highest rock is going to be an acorn hanging from a chain. Go ahead and hit that with an arrow, and we'll get seed number 23. Number 24 is going to be found just west of Mount Gustav, and you'll see on your map we have a pretty large bridge that goes across the river. Underneath that bridge, you'll see another acorn hanging from a chain. We just need to hit that thing with an arrow, and once you line it up, we'll get seed number 24. Number 25 is found over by the West Hyrule Plains. We're actually going to be on the ledge that's down by the river here, and you're going to find another cork. Now, there's several rocks that are up here that we can use to attach to it and drop it off the side. However, I think it's a little quicker and easier to just spawn a rocket, attach it to the cork, and let that thing take off. But either way, once you do it, you'll get seed number 25. Number 26 is right in the middle of the West Hyrule Plains. If you come to this exact location, you're going to find three giant rocks that are in essentially a triangle, and you'll have a cluster of leaves that spawn up top. Easiest way to get these is to take one of the pieces of wood right here and lift it up right underneath, and then use recall so that it goes up. You can jump on top of it, and once you're up here, you can interact with them, and you'll get seed number 26. Number 27 is found on the southern side of the West Hyrule Plains. You can actually see this weird little structure here on your map. If you make your way over here, we just need to climb to the top of this structure. We're going to have a pinwheel at the top that we can stand next to, and we're going to have one balloon spawn. So you'll see through the circle here, we have one balloon. It's not moving, pretty easy to hit. And once you do, you'll get seed number 27. Number 28 is located on the northern side of the Jetto Bridge, pretty close to where we just got our last seed. And all we need to do is go to the edge of the bridge and look down. You're going to see a small little rock down here on the ledge. Go Go ahead and pick that thing up and we'll get seed number 28. Number 29 is found just west of the Jetto Bridge where we just got our last seed. And once you come over here, you're going to find this giant rock structure. We just need to climb to the very top and we're going to have a cluster of leaves that spawn. You guys can see them up here. We'll just climb to the top, interact, and once we do, we'll get seed number 29. Number 30 is found over in the West Hyrule Plain, and if you zoom in right here on the map, you'll see we have a really small little pond. There's going to be a tree next to it. If we walk up to that tree, you'll have a cluster of leaves that spawns that's just traveling around the tree. Interact with those leaves and we'll get seed number 30. Number 31 is found in the series Scablands. We're going to be on the eastern side just north of the little pond here. We want to come to this exact little mushroom tower and we're going to climb to the top. So we can put a rocket on our shield, fly up top, and once you land up here, you'll have a little cluster of leaves you can interact with to get seed number 31. Number 32 is on the northwestern side of the series Scablands. You guys want to come to this giant circle right here, and we want to get on top of this thing. So I would recommend putting a rocket on 2 shields because we're not going to be able to get high enough to get to the tall one. So we can land on the small one here first and then pull out another shield with a rocket, and then we'll be able to get all the way to the top. But once you're up here, there's a pile of leaves you need to hit with your sword and then pick up the small rock that's under those leaves and we'll get seed number 32. Numbers 33 and 34 are going to be found together just east of the series Scablands over by the bog. And once you get over here, you'll find our little Korok buddy hanging out by the water. And once you interact with him, you'll see that we need to take him up on top of this giant mushroom looking tower. The first thing we want to do is come over here and grab one of these metal squares, and we're going to take the hot air balloon and put that on the middle. We could take the little fire thing and drop that inside the hot air balloon so that we can go up. Then we're going to get the Korok, attach him to the side, and we'll get on one side and hit it so that we can fly up. The important part here is to separate the Korok and drop him off up top so that he doesn't just fall straight down. And then you can fly across, put him at the campsite, interact, and you'll get your next 2 seeds. Number 35 is found inside of Ludfo's bog. You want to come to this giant circle right here. And once you make it here, if you look on the ground, traveling around it is going to be a little cluster of leaves. Interact with those, and once you do, you'll get seed number 35. Number 36 is located on the northwestern side of the Thundra Plateau. And once you make your way over here, you'll find a pile of leaves over here in the rocks. Just hit those leaves and pick up the small rock underneath, and you'll get seed 36. Number 37 is just north of the Thundra Plateau. You can actually see on your map, we have a little triangle of logs here. And that's where you want to go. When you get over here, you're going to have some boulders next to it. All we need to do is pick up one of the boulders, drop it in the middle of the logs, and then climb up on top and interact with the leaves that spawn. And once you do that, you'll get seed number 37. Number 38 is found over by Lindor's Brow, just southeast of the Skyview Tower. And once you make it over here, you're going to find a little opening in the ground where you can kind of go through a tunnel. Go all the way to the bottom of this tunnel, and if you look up, there's a piece of wood up on the rock. All we need to do is ascend through that wood, and once we make it up top, the Korok will appear and we'll get seed number 38. Number 39 is also up on Lindor's Brow. This is just northwest of the Skyview Tower where all these little trees are. And once you get up here and see all the trees, you want to go to the middle and climb the tree that doesn't have any leaves on it. And if you climb to the top, you can interact with a little cluster of leaves. And once you do that, you'll get seed number 39. Number 40 is located just northwest of Lindor's Brow over by the Tanagar Canyon. And if you come right over here to this ledge, all we need to do is jump off the side. And there's a small ledge down here with a little small rock on the end that we can pick up. And once you pick it up, we'll get seed number 40. Number 41 will be found just northwest of Thundra Plateau. We're going to be on the side of the mountain right here. We're going to have a puzzle we need to solve. The piece is going to be up on this rock here in front of us. You can climb up and drop it off the ledge if you want, or if you're lazy, you can just try to grab it without having to climb up there. But once you grab this thing, you want to rotate it around to where it almost looks like the letter T. And then we're going to turn and put it right here on this back corner. So you'll be able to fit it right here into the corner. And once it locks on, the Korok will appear and we'll get seed number 41. Number 42 can be found in Upland Lindor. You guys can see we're going to be right here on top of this giant rock. And once we get up here, we'll just walk over the piece of wood that's on the rock. It'll spawn the yellow circle across from us. And all we need to do is fly across, go through the circle. The Korok will pop up and we'll get seed number 42. Number 43 is on top of Mount Rome. Here is the location. You can see we have a small pond. You just want to go up on the rocks and we're going to jump over into the pond and right through the circle of lily pads. And once you make it through, we'll get seed 43. For number 44, you want to head over to the southwestern side of Mount Rome. You'll actually see 2 dotted circles right here on your map. It's Going to be a little rock puzzle, super simple. All we need to do is take the one rock that's in the middle and we're going to move it right over here to the left side to complete the circle. And once you've got that thing lined up perfectly, you'll get seed number 44. For number 45, we're going to head over to the eastern side of the Tabantha Great Bridge. And once you make it over here, all we need to do is go under the side of the bridge here. So we'll jump off and we're going to land on this little ledge. And we're just going to pick up the small rock that's down here, which will then pop up the Korok and give us seed number 45. Number 46 is a little bit further east of the Tabantha Great Bridge. We want to get on top of this giant circle right here next to the stable, so we can put a rocket on our shield and fly up. There's going to be a flower that's right in the middle, and we're just going to play a game of follow the flower. The second one will be on the ledge, and then we're going to jump down to this structure over here to grab the third one, and then our final couple flowers, we just walk all the way down to the bottom. And once you do, we'll get seed 46. Numbers 47 and 48 are going to be found together, again, southeast of the Tabantha Great Bridge, also just southeast of the stable. And once you make it down here, you'll find our little Korok buddy hanging out on the ledge here. Interact with him, and you'll see we just need to take him down the path behind us. Now, this is another one of those that's actually super easy to just take on foot. So if you don't have the materials to make an airplane, you can just carry him along the main path. You're not going to really encounter any enemies. And it's pretty easy to get over here, not too far. But if you have the materials, make yourself an airplane, drop them off, interact, and we'll get our next two seeds. For number 49, you want to head just north of the Illumini Plateau. You can see we're going to be on this plateau over here. And once you make it up top, we're just going to climb up on this pillar, walk over the piece of wood. That's going to spawn the yellow circle on the pillar across from us. We'll fly across and get seed number 49. Number 50 is found within the Tanagar Canyon. If you come to this exact location where we have these giant rocks on your map, we want to be on ground level. There's actually a little secret path you can go behind all these rocks. We're going to step on the piece of wood and then we're just going to ascend up top through the rock here. And once we get up to the top, if you turn around, there's just going to be a yellow circle we can walk through, and that's going to give us seed number 50. Seeds 51 and 52 are going to be found together just northeast of the Illumini Plateau. And if you come right over here, you're going to find our little Korok buddy hanging out by these rocks. Once you interact with him, you'll see that we need to take him up on top of the mountain right here beside us, which is a little bit of a challenge. What I found to be the easiest way to do this is obviously using a rocket to launch him up there, but I decided to sit him up on this ledge. That way he wouldn't roll around when I put the rocket on him, and I actually used two. So you can see when I put the first rocket, it leaned sideways. So I just decided to spawn another rocket and put it on the other side of him. Go ahead and angle it like this, and then when I hit it, it was able to just launch him up there. And then all I had to do was use a rocket on my shield to fly up top and then find him. And he was actually hidden behind this little rock that's up here. So you just look around for him. Once you find him, you come over here and drop him off at the campsite, interact with his buddy. And once you do, you'll get your next two seeds. Number 53 is going to be found on the southern side of the Illumini Plateau. This one will be pretty simple. Once you get up here, you're going to find a really small rock up here all by itself. Go ahead and pick that thing up and you'll get seed number 53. For number 54, you want to make your way to the southern side of the Tanagar Canyon. And if you come down to this location, you'll see there's a little overpass here. Underneath in the little tunnel, if you look up, there's going to be a piece of wood that we can ascend through. Go ahead and hit ascend through that piece of wood. And once we make it up top on the rocks, the Korok will pop up and we'll get seed number 54. Numbers 55 and 56 are going to be found together just north of Lake Illumini. And you guys will see on this ledge up here is going to be our little Korok buddy. And we're going to need to help take him all the way down the side of the mountain. Now, I recommend making an airplane for this one. It is a good distance and you are going to encounter a couple enemies if you decide to go on foot, which we'll show you along the flight path here. But once we take off, you'll see there's not too much going on here at first. But once you get over the side, there's going to be a couple enemies down here on your right. So taking an airplane is definitely the safer and quickest way. But once you get down here, interact, and we'll get our next two seeds. Number 57 is right here over next to Lake Illumini. This is going to be on the eastern side in this giant cluster of trees. And once you make your way over here, you're going to see a wooden structure with a roof missing. We're going to go ahead and take this piece here so we can complete the roof. All we need to do is turn this thing around, and then what you need to do is flip it around the other way. You can see me realizing it won't go in, so rotate it the other side. And once you do, we'll get seed number 57. Number 58 is just south of Washa's Bluff. You'll see that we're going to be on this little ledge that sticks out over the river. And once you get down here, you'll find a piece of wood to step on that's going to spawn our target on the rock in the middle of the river. Fly your way across and land on it without touching the ground. And if done so correctly, you'll get seed number 58. Number 59 is going to be on the little mountainside just southeast of Wash's Bluff. You guys can see a couple trees on your map. But once you get down here, it'll be a pretty massive puzzle, pretty hard to miss, and it's easy. All we need to do is take the piece that's here on the side, rotate it sideways, and fit it right here in the middle. And once that thing's in place, you'll get seed number 59. Number 60 is going to be found on the top of Satori Mountain. And once you make your way to the peak, on top of the rocks, you guys will find a really small rock. All we need to do is pick that thing up and we'll get seed number 60. Number 61 is going to be found just west of Satori Mountain down by the river. You guys can see on your map, we have a dotted line, which is going to be our rock puzzle. Our one rock we're missing is up at the top right over here in this corner. So we can grab that, place it in line. And once you line that up correctly, the Korok will pop up and we'll get seed number 61. Number 62 is just north of Hyrule Lake. You can actually see on your map the little rock here just north of all the trees. Once you get up here, we just step over the piece of wood, which will spawn a target on the rock across from us, land on that target without touching the ground, and we'll get seed number 62. Number 63 is going to be found in the middle of Hyrule Lake. So work your way out to this lake and you'll find it'll be pretty obvious in the middle where this little rock is. We're going to have a yellow flower. We're just going to play a game of follow the flower around the lake. The second one is there on that little rock. Then we're going to go to shore. The next is going to be on the log here. The next one after that is going to be on the tree stump in the middle of the lake. Then we can jump off to this smaller tree stump here. And we're going to run over here to these slanted rocks, grab one here, the next one on the tree stump in front of us, the next one inside of the tree stump across from us. So we can climb up here. And then our last flower is going to be right over here in this little opening of this wall that we can climb up. So come over here, climb this wall, and you'll see the white flower right up top. And you get seed number 63. Number 64 is located just west of Hyrule Lake, right over here in this little cluster of trees. You're going to find an open tree stump with a small rock inside. Walk up to it and pick up that rock. The Korok will appear and we'll get seed number 64. For number 65, you want to head pretty far southeast of Hyrule Lake down here to this exact location on your map. And once you get down here in the open, you're going to find a giant boulder in a hole in the ground. Go ahead and pick that up, and then we're just going to take that all the way up the side of the mountain here. Continue to go straight up these rocks right here in front of us. And then once you get up on top, you'll see the wooden stand that we need to drop it in. Drop that thing off. The Korok will appear, and we'll get seed number 65. Number 66 is also southeast of Hyrule Lake. If you see here on your map, we're going to have a really giant tree down here by the entrance to the cave. All we need to do is climb up on top of this fat tree, pick up the small rock that's up here on the top, and once you pick up the rock, we'll get seed number 66. Number 67 is going to be found just south of Satori Mountain. You guys will be able to see on your map, there's a small little pond up here. And once you make it over here, we just need to work underneath the rocks and you'll see a piece of wood on the ceiling. We're going to go ahead and ascend through that piece of wood. And once we make it up on top of the rocks here, little Korok will pop up and we'll get seed number 67. Number 68 is going to be found just southeast of Satori Mountain. You guys will be able to see on your map is a pretty giant rock down here. And once you make your way up on top of this rock, we're just going to pick up the small rock that's up here and we'll get seed number 68. Number 69 is found on the eastern side of Satori Mountain, just south of the shrine. You guys will see there's a small pond on your map. And we need to work our way to the log that's laying here in the pond. And we're just going to shoot the acorn that's inside that log. And that'll give us seed number 69. Numbers 70 and 71 are going to be found together just east of Satori Mountain. And if you come over here right at the bottom of the mountain, you're going to find our little Korok buddy hanging out on a rock here. Interact with him and you'll see that we need to take him directly up the mountain right here behind us. Now there's a couple different ways you could do this. The way we're going to do it in the video is just carry it up the mountain because it seemed to be a little bit easier. With using the rocket on this one and attaching a rocket to the Korok, it's really difficult to get them up top just because we're pretty much going straight up. So the angle is very complicated, but there's multiple places where you can sit the Korok as you work your way up the hill here and climb yourself. But once you get them up here, you'll get your next two seeds. Number 72 is also found just east of Satori Mountain. And you'll see on your map here, we have one single massive tree out here. All we need to do is climb to the top of this tree. And once we get up here, you'll find a small little rock up top. Go ahead and pick up that small rock and you'll get seed number 72. Number 73 is going to be found on the eastern side of the Nema Plain. You guys will see again on the map, there's one giant tree down here.
And all we need to do is run up to the tree and you're going to find a little cluster of leaves traveling around it. Interact with those and we'll get seed 73. For number 74, we're going to head over to the Sanidin Park ruins. And once you get over here, we're going to end up interacting with the fountain, as when we walk up to it, we'll have a cluster of leaves that spawn right here above it. Interact with those and we'll get seed number 74. Number 75 is just northeast of the Safula Hill. You guys can see we're going to be on the ledge that kind of is right here next to the water. And once you make it down to this ledge, you're going to find a little cluster of leaves traveling around the grass. Interact with those and we'll get seed number 75. Number 76 is going to be found just southwest of the Safula Hill, and you guys can see on your map there's one giant tree over here. And for this one we're going to need a golden apple. We already have one golden apple in one of the plates. We're going to drop another one in the second plate, and once you do, we're going to get seed number 76. Number 77 is located on the eastern side of the Delight Forest, right off the main path, and you're going to find two statues with a yellow flower next to them. We're just going to play a game of follow the flower around these two statues, so you don't really have to go anywhere. It's just going to keep spawning right here around them. And once you get the white flower, the Korok will pop up and we'll get seed 77. For number 78, we're going to head to the small pond that's just west of the Delight Forest. And we're going to go to the far northwestern side of that pond. And right back over here, you're going to find a little tunnel you can go in. All we need to do is ascend through the piece of wood that's on the ceiling. And once you do, you'll get seed number 78. Number 79 is also going to be at that pond that's just west of the Delight Forest, except this time we're going to be on the southern side of the pond, and you'll see the massive tree that's on the southern side. We're going to climb all the way to the top of this thing, and at the top is going to be a small rock that we can pick up, and that's going to give us seed number 79. Our 80th and final seed of the region is found just north of Illumini Plateau, over here in this cluster of trees. There's going to be a small yellow flower next to the dead tree right here, and we're just going to play a game of follow the flower. Now, if you get confused, they're just going to keep spawning in front of different trees, so just look around and you'll eventually find them all. But once you get the white flower to spawn right here at the big tree, you'll get seed number 80. But this is how to find all 80 Korok seeds here in the Hyrule Ridge. If you guys have any other questions, make sure to leave them down in the comment section below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.